All right, we're back with another live stream. We've reached TNA Impact from this past Thursday, July 24th. This, by all accounts, seems to be now a WWE developmental show, so I guess we'll treat it that way. I usually lump this in with NXT and Evolve on my reviews. They might have something to do with each other. Evolve doesn't really have much to do with TNA, but NXT sure does. But they're all WWE developmental territories at this point. But alright, let's start the show. It starts with them actually acknowledging Hulk Hogan's passing. I thought for a few minutes earlier in the day when I heard about Hulk Hogan passing away, I was curious if TNA would mention it. A bit of a mixed bag of feelings in terms of what people think of Hulk Hogan and TNA. I personally like the Hulk Hogan TNA era. It kind of got me back into wrestling during that period, and I found it entertaining. And I know a lot of people say, especially if they were true TNA diehards, that, he kind of ruined TNA. That it was actually going pretty well before that, which I hadn't been watching, but I did go back and watch all the tapes from the pre-Hogan era, and yes, it was pretty goddamn good. But regardless, I still think he was a big part of TNA, and I'm not going to give a Hulk Hogan tribute speech right now. We might do that when the podcast returns and I get the panel back together. Vlad and Robert, I'm sure they have thoughts on Hulk Hogan. Big fans from their childhood, but yeah, whenever the podcast comes back, I'm thinking we're going to do one maybe post SummerSlam to talk about all the big happenings from WWE. But alright, for now, let's jump into TNA Impact. If anyone's new to the review and my live streams, I'm going to review every segment according to the Malapert Smart review system, which you see on the right. At the end of each segment, I'll give a rating, try to add it to our total score, give us a good little score for our TNA Impact show tonight, and then I'll be watching for bonus points. I'll go through all the promos and all the match highlights, and if I see anything that I think deserves more points, I will just be dishing out points left and right. But alright, let's get started with the opening video package. We got reviews from Slammiversary. This is the follow-up show to Slammiversary. For those of you who don't know, JC Jane, yes, that JC Jane from NXT won the NXT Knockouts World title, so she's also the NXT champion. Yeah, go figure. JC Jane, the double champion. So she was just on NXT, which we just reviewed yesterday, and she cut a promo on there, has some issues with Lash Legend, but she's going to be here also defending the honor of that TNA Knockouts World title. We also had the return of AJ Styles, who put Leon Slater over after his amazing match against Moose, winning that X Division title, becoming the youngest ever X Division champion. The Hardys also dethroned the Nemeths for the World Tag titles, and that was a wild four-way ladder match, and then they got challenged by Bully Ray. So there's going to be one last Hardys-Dudleys match, I guess, at Bound for Glory. And then Trick Williams also defended the title against Joe Hendry and Santana, much to the chagrin of TNA fans around the world. But regardless, we got to pick ourselves up by our bootstraps and get on with it. Don't have time to sulk for Santana. Got to get back right on that title trail. Excuse me. Got to get right back on that title trail. So let's start with the first segment of the show. All right, so we got Santino. He's coming in, and he's going to cut a promo to open the show. The Director of Authority, the main power, the authority figure in TNA Wrestling. Let's see what he has to say today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TNA Impact! Last Sunday, Slammiversary, wow. It was epic. It was historic. We saw passion. We saw sacrifice. We saw history. But we also saw something, and I'm going to be honest here, it's not sitting well with me. You see, both the TNA World Championship and the TNA Knockouts World Championship are currently both in the hands of NXT talent. So let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. I'm going to do everything I can to rectify this situation. You see, the TNA locker room, we are warriors. We are the best wrestlers in the world. And I'm going to do everything to put the right people in the right positions to reclaim that gold, including myself. We're going to take back...
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, Santino has a NXT North American title shot on the next NXT coming up against Ethan Page.
Our gold because it belongs to TNA. And you know what? Maybe we're going to take a little bit of their gold too. I'm talking to you, Ethan Page. I'm going to see you this Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, this I promise.
Again, Santino Marella attempting to lead by example, but here's someone who has got to be ticked off after Slammiversary. We saw title versus title. Winner takes all between Jacy Jayne and Masha Slamovich this past Sunday. Jayne made history, becoming the first double champion simultaneously.
Well, here comes Masha Slamovich.
And WWE.
Unashamed, confident looking. She did lose the title to Jacy Jayne.
What it is, and you have to imagine that Slamovich.
Let's see what she has to say for herself.
Please, and I don't think patience.
And welcome to TNA.
Her strong suit.
Santino, I didn't come out here to thank you for your pep talk. I came out here to get what's mine. I was the TNA Knockouts World Champion. I carried that division on my back. I beat every single person that you put in front of me. And at Slammiversary, Jacy Jayne, you stole that title from me. I want my contractual rematch, and I want it next week.
You want your contractually obligated rematch? You got it! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to make it official right now. Next week, it's going to be Masha Slamovich versus Jacy Jayne for the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
Not wasting any time, but apparently neither is the system.
There was an up and down night at Slammiversary for the system as these former tag team championship partners, Slamovich and Edwards.
Interesting. Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich fist bumped on their way to the ring. Here comes the system. So the system are coming to talk to Santino. Wild opening segment here. Lots going on. TNA's in disarray. They've lost all their titles. Masha Slamovich, I guess I can review that first part of the segment, the opening segment, the Masha Slamovich part. Basically, she just came out and demanded her rematch, and Santino was like, yes, you got it. So not too exciting, but let's hear what the system have to say. Eddie Edwards going to grab the mic first, it seems.
For what you said, how there are warriors in this company, warriors who are willing to stand up and fight for what TNA believes in. And you're right. The proof is right here in front of you, Santino. Right here. See, at Slammiversary, we weren't just representing the system. No. We were representing that locker room. We were representing TNA Wrestling as a whole. As we went out to that ring, we stood across from Dark State, and we sent them packing back to NXT. talk about legacy, Santino. Hell, I have been here for a long time now. And I've done everything in my power to help this company succeed. I have bled for this company. I have watched this company fall. And yeah, I'll be honest, at times, I've been one of those trying to take this company down. But Santino, those days are long gone now. And I will be damned if I'm going to sit around and let some outsiders come into our house and try to take something that does not belong to them.
You see, Santino, these three letters right here, these colors, this logo, this brand means everything to the system. And TNA Wrestling isn't some little pit stop for us in our wrestling careers, no. TNA Wrestling is the system's home.
What's up, town? Santino, if TNA is going to war, we'll be your soldiers. Because the system does not crack under pressure, we are the pressure. Hit him with it, big man.
You see, I've accomplished almost everything here in TNA. And at this point in my career, it's not about titles, it's not about championship, but it's about building a legacy that makes my name synonymous to TNA. Just like the phenomenal AJ Styles. And when I wrestled Leon Slater, he reminded me why I love TNA so much. Why I will go to war with every man and woman in that locker room. Because we scratch, we crawl, we sweat, we bleed, we fall, but we get our asses back up and continue to fight. And that's exactly what Leon Slater did. And that's why he deserves, no, that's why he earned the right on being the youngest X Division champion in TNA history. And that's why he's going to take the X Division to brand new heights, which brings me to my next point, the TNA World Championship. Our current champion, who just got here, is already calling himself the face of TNA. Well, a wise man once told me, you don't need to carry a title to be the face of a company. You see, Eddie, we've been here for just about a decade, and we've seen people come, and we've seen people go, and all those people call themselves the face of TNA. But I can look you in your eyes, Eddie, and call you the heart and soul of TNA, and you can look me in mine and call me the face of the franchise, because we've been through the ups, we've been through the downs, we've been through the indifference, we've been made fun of, we've been criticized, we've been ridiculed, but we keep waving that TNA flag. We keep putting TNA on our backs and carrying this company through thick and through thin. And now I know what I must do next. And it's as easy as 3 words. Whoop that trick.
Hell of a statement by Moose, but ask and you shall receive.
And the current TNA World Champion is not alone.
Trick Williams, accompanied by AJ.
Here comes Trick with AJ Francis and KC Navarro, his crew in TNA, I guess, the people that he feels most akin to. Alright, I gotta talk about this system promo before we move on to Trick. I'll review their promo. Man, I gotta say, I'm a little disappointed in the system turning babyface straight out, so I'm not going to give any points. I mean, the system is babyfaces. I guess they're facing outsiders. For now, they can be the flag bearers for TNA, but it's just very strange to me. I don't know if I like seeing it. But alright, let's listen to Trick Williams. Trick's going to talk.
Hey, yo, Moose, sit your bobblehead ass down. So let me get this straight. You go out there to Slammiversary, you lose your title to Leon Slater, and the first thing you come out here and do tonight is mumble over your words and call out Trick Williams. You must be stupid.
Man, that's a burn.
Let's be clear, this is my house now. I'm the man who took out the average Joe. I'm the man who took out the loud and proud Boricua Mike Santana. I'm the man who brought TNA the largest attendance of all time. Damn it, this ain't TNA no more. This is Trick A. Ooh, yeah.
He's almost right, man. I'm almost going to agree with this guy that he's probably the most over guy in TNA or NXT. He might deserve this title. He's been really good lately.
Now, Moose, I don't care if you're on a mission. I don't care if you grab the system. I don't care if you grab the Detroit Pistons. You still don't got enough firepower for first-class tricking. Let's talk about it.
First Class Trickin'. That's the name of that group, huh?
Matter of fact, you can go order 4 more like Mustafa Ali, and you still can't see me.
Ooh, bringing up Mustafa Ali.
I am the present, I am the man, this is Trick A now, and you, Moose, are the past.
So Trick, you have a lot to say, so how about this? How about you wobble your ass down here, bring Uncle Phil and Pink and the system, the greatest faction of all time. We'll show you how we do things here at TNA.
Seems like Order 4 may have taken objection to being called out here.
Here comes Mustafa Ali. It was a throwaway line from Trick Williams saying that even if you had Order 4 on your side, still wouldn't be able to beat us. And then here comes Order 4. Mustafa Ali going to say something to Trick Williams.
A little crowded.
Mustafa Ali, who dispatched Cedric Alexander to kick off Slammiversary this past Sunday.
Mr. Williams, let's not talk about it. Let's make sure you never mention my good name again, because if you do, I'll bury your ass like my name's The Undertaker. Now all this talk about the greatest faction and TNA, it's definitely not second class, and it's definitely not some broken down old system, no. The greatest faction in TNA is Order 4. So now I demand that all of the citizens of TNA rise and give me a proper round of applause. As I take my rightful spot as the leader of the greatest faction of all time.
Oh, Harry Edwards just cracked us.
I'll stop it right there. That's where the spoken language portion of the scene ends, and there's a melee between the system and Order 4. And that's how this segment comes to a close, as Trick and First Class look on from the on-ramp. Alright, so I gotta give some reviews for this segment. I gotta talk about, first of all, Moose's promo, going for the title. I guess that's a good idea. That's not a bad matchup. Moose versus Trick. Can't say anything bad about that. I gotta throw a half a point at that. Other than that, though, Moose's promo was just a basic babyface promo. I think Trick's was a little better. I'll give him a half thumbs up. And then Mustafa Ali also come out with the burn on the Undertaker thing from the other night. Although I do respect Trick for stepping up to the Undertaker. But still, at least Mustafa Ali is watching TV. Had something to say. And then he stepped up to the system. So it looks like that's going to be a feud going forward. Maybe an intra TNA feud to see who's going to lead this resistance against the NXT people. But okay, overall, lots of talking. We're already like 21 minutes into the show. Not a lot got settled, but they did have some things to talk about in terms of this war with TNA. So overall, I'll give that opening segment a thumbs up. Although it was a little long-winded, could have been a little shorter, but still, good stuff, good stuff. All right, I'm going to move on to the next segment. All right, next we got the follow-up to the segment we just watched. Looks like the System's backstage, and Santino Marella is going to join them.
The little stooges. Guys. Give us order 4. Look, I see what's going on here. The tension with order 4, okay? The mind games with this clash. But listen, there's too much chaos going on here right now. I see the storm coming. 3 factions, you're fighting for supremacy. We cannot have this. Okay, just give me a night to think about it. I gotta figure this out. It's gonna go crazy.
Right now.
System. You guys have my back at Slammiversary. That's all what just happened out there. Need my help? I'm always ready. I got your back. I got your back.
You did that? Yeah.
You know what?
Make it happen,
You just gave me an idea. Since you guys are now on the same page, how about we have a little bit of a reunion here, right? Judova Myers, the Edge Major guys, against the Great Hands. And you 3 guys, you're going to face this clash with Ricky Williams next week.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There we go.
Finally, something we can do.
Hey, you guys good? You got it, Ryder? Thanks, baby.
Always ready.
Trust the
There we
system,
go.
baby. Let's go.
Thank you, Santino.
Okay.
All right. So there you go. What happened? Santino was a little flustered. He doesn't know what to do about all this warring factions business. He wants to settle it, but he wanted some time to think about it. Matt Cardona showed up, and he says he's down to have the Systems back since they have fought together recently against the Dark State. So looks like they've got some matches set up for the coming future. All right, should I give this segment anything? I don't know. Nothing from me. This was a move it along segment, get the storyline across, and that's about it. But otherwise, I'm moving on to the next one. All right, next up, we got the personal concierge. He's here to introduce Ash and Heather by elegance and probably also rip on the crowd. So I'll listen to his promo.
Bounce, because the personal concierge has something to say. You know, they say what we do in life echoes in eternity. So I spent the past week Googling Rhode Island, researching to see what you've done to echo in eternity, and I found absolutely nothing! Zero! Nada! And you want to know
That's
why?
why I wake up in the morning and reach for wrestling immediately. I need to hear people rip on people in their cities because it's just what makes me happy.
Because you're all a bunch of losers! Degenerates!
Degenerates.
In fact, you're miserable. You've done nothing with your lives. But I'm going to give you something to cheer for. I'm going to give you something to be happy for. Winners, something that will actually echo in eternity. So welcome the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions of the World and the Elegance brand.
Oh my god.
Chitter, chatter,
I kind of like it when he
battle,
used
back and
to
forth
introduce them,
groups,
Ash and
factions
Heather,
all fighting each
by
other. In my
elegance.
opinion,
But
the
okay.
most dominant and
He is
definitely
so
the
fun.
most
I love
beautiful
personal concierge.
faction
George
in all of TNA
Iceman,
is
George the
standing
Iceman,
right
very
before you.
on the Canadian indie scene, I guess, too. I've been a fan of him since I started watching TNA. But, okay, let's go through what happens in this match. Here is Ash and Heather. She's the shortest one. M is the tallest one, Maggie. But they do show a replay from Slammiversary from when Maggie helped them win and defend their title against the Inspiration, bonking one of the Inspiration members on the head with a Statue of Liberty torch. They came out in the Statue of Liberty attire. So they're facing the Inspiration again today, but instead of a 2-on-2 tag match, it's a 3-on-3. So M is joining Ash and Heather, and the Inspiration have said that they will find a partner. And people have been skeptical that the Inspiration can find a partner because, as Matthew Raywald was saying, he's just curious who would be friends with them. And we got a debut today. It's Mara Sade, who was just released by WWE and was on TNA in the crossover as Jakara Jackson. So they took the name. They released her and took the name. It's like she could go back to TNA. And the commentators were even saying, like, hey, you know, she was just here. She's been in TNA. She's been in WWE recently. You know, they're kind of trying to not say it exactly what's going on. But yeah, that was a little weird. But okay, nice to see Mara Sade. Looks like Mara is like Tamara, Mara, short for Tamara, something like that. Sade, as we all know. Great, beautiful singer. So that's a nice name, Mara Sade. It'll take me a second to get used to it. I was calling her Jakara Jackson for so long, writing her name down in my reviews as Jakara Jackson. I wonder if that's her real name, but I will look that up later. For now, I want to move on. Let's see, I got some highlights today. This is the finish. Let's jump to the finish. I skipped most of this match. It's the Idolizer on Heather by Elegance. So, yes, they're going to put their finisher and win the match. So, this is a win for baby faces on this night. I didn't really catch any spots. They usually pull out some interesting spots or someone at least flying over the top rope or something, but it was a pretty basic match. I don't know. I didn't really catch anything from it that maybe I missed it because I was tired while I was watching it, but this one didn't really capture me, so I'm not handing out any points for this six-man tag today, although we did see a debut. Wasn't too exciting. I don't know. I don't see Mara Jackson really fitting in with the Inspiration. I don't know if they're going to really be a stable or something. But anyways, I'll move on for now. Next, we got the injury report. Gia Miller is out. She was attacked by Tessa Blanchard very violently while she was interviewing Indy Hartwell. Tessa had just taken a loss to Indy and just couldn't handle herself, lost her emotions, and just beat the shit out of Gia Miller. So Gia Miller is out, so she's not doing interviews today. It says head injury. She bashed her head into the steel steps multiple times. And then Moose. Moose has a hip injury, I guess, from the Leon Slater match. I did notice him kind of limping a little bit when he was out there earlier talking to Trick Williams. So he's day-to-day. All right, interesting. This is a relatively new thing they've been doing in TNA for the past few months, injury reports. But I'm moving on to the next segment. Backstage, we got Mike Santana. The interviewer, I don't know her name, so she's not the usual interviewer. She's covering today for Gia Miller, and Santana doesn't want to answer questions from this lady as he has just failed in regaining the TNA World title in the three-way. Trick Williams retained, walked off with it, and he's just pissed, and he doesn't want to comment, so he just walks off. So yeah, he should be pissed because he has been teasing us all along with this, I'm so serious and I'm going to be champion, and well, do it already. Basically, at this point, he should be mad at himself. That's what I say. Losing TNA's title. What the hell? But he's got another chance tonight. As we'll see later, Santana will be in a match, a #1 contenders match. So gotta get right back on the horse. No time to sulk and feel sorry for yourself. This is wrestling, okay? Wins and losses happen all the time. You gotta get ready to go the next day. But alright, backstage, she couldn't get an interview from Santana, so close by, she sees Indy Hartwell, and she walks over there, and she's gonna get an interview with Indy. So I guess I'll play some of this one. Let's listen to Indy Hartwell, who just beat Tessa Blanchard, by the way, at Slammiversary. Huge, awesome win. Although she did have to watch Gia Miller get roughed up by Tessa Blanchard. We'll see what she has to say about all that.
Big win for you against Tessa Blanchard at Slammiversary. What's next for you?
Well, first off, Gabby, I just want to say, what happened at Slammiversary after my match? Tessa attacking Gia for no reason. It was pathetic. But now that Tessa's out of the picture, I can finally focus on what I came here for, and that is to become Knockouts World Champion.
Hey, Indy. I'm not very good at this stuff, but I just want to say thanks for last week. I very needed it, and you were there.
Got you. Foreigners got to stick together.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we move on, Danny Luna has walked into the scene. And here's Danny Luna. And before we move on, I guess she did mention that Tessa is pathetic, but she didn't mention wanting to fight her again or beat her up because of what happened. She said she's going to move on. So, okay. She's not going to defend Gia Miller's honor. Gia Miller is going to have to defend her own honor, I guess. Or not, I guess. I don't know. So, here comes Danny Luna. Danny Luna, who needed help last week, got attacked by Tessa as well, and here she is to thank her for backing her up and for watching her while she was in the back getting help for her injuries and such. So let's see what she has to say other than thanking her.
I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry about that.
Ladies, I just want you to know I've been watching
this is weird. So Alicia Fox, Victoria Crawford, her name is in TNA, walks into the scene and she makes a very awkward proposal.
Closely, magnifique, and I'm officially a mentor. That's right, mentor. And I think you both have great potential, especially you, Indy. I mean, after all that last week, you just overcome.
Oh yeah, after all that, you were part of the G Miller ambush. You think I want you to mentor me?
No. That was the past. Right now is the present, and mentorship is about growth.
Yeah, this is so fucking weird. She literally was aligned with Tessa Blanchard a minute ago, who she was feuding with, and now she's offering to be a mentor. They're all stupid. At least Indy gave the correct response. I'll give a half point to Indy for fucking being logical for once. Some logical wrestling lines. Thank you.
And dedication.
Hey, if you're gonna mess with Indy, okay, how about she's had enough? Try it with me.
That's a great idea. I will go get Santino and give you the match that you're looking for, since I'm your mentor and your mentor. Get it?
I don't get it. She's your mentor.
Is she your mentor?
She's not my mentor.
Is she a mentor?
She's got authority. She's not my mentor.
Okay. So Victoria Crawford walks off after claiming to be their mentor. And Danny Luna steps in and defends Indy Hartwell, says, hey, she's kind of had enough to deal with. Come deal with me. So, alright. Very strange, I would say. I think I would give this a thumbs down. This is like a WWE style booking. Sorry, I gotta take off a point for my impact review. Is this WWE influence leaking into TNA? Really shitty, horrible angles? Okay. Is this like the reject angles from WWE that didn't even make it on fucking SmackDown and Raw? Or NXT or Evolve? And now here it is on Impact. Oh god. I'm trying to remain positive about this TNA WWE relationship. Mentor. Mentor, first of all, sounds like a fucking WWE thing. Like Natalia is there. She's the elder statesman, the mentor. Who gives a fuck? You think you're a mentor? Fuck this angle. I'm moving on to the next one. Let's see what we got. We got Eric Young. Okay, so Eric Young is with the Northern Armory. He's pissed off at them. They kind of been fucking up for him. They have not been there to help him in any good manner or anything. And he's just been like very trying to be serious and angry at them to try to get them to fix themselves. And it hasn't happened. So let's see. They're still trying though.
It's gotta be us. It gotta be us. It's gotta be us. 23 years I've given this place. 23 years. And look at the state it's in. Look at the condition it's in. Outsiders are everywhere. They're taking over. And we've got to do something about it. We've got to fix it. Joe Hendry doesn't want it. Mike Santana, he couldn't get it done. Maybe they don't want to fix it. Maybe that was a choice by them. Maybe I don't have a choice. Maybe I've got to initiate the change. Maybe I've got to fix it. I'm the only one seeing clearly. I'm the only one that can see the truth. I'm the one that has to do it. I will cleanse this place.
All right. Interesting. I hadn't heard that before. I kind of just bookmarked the promo, and I didn't listen to it yet until right now, so that was my first listen to that. But all right, I'm gonna say I kind of like that. Eric Young thinking, he said, "Only I know the truth," so that there's something deeper. Like I think he's kind of hinting, like, "Hey, WWE's kind of taking over here." You know, that was a little shoot hint, I guess, of what he might be thinking about all this for real. But he has been in NXT, but he's more TNA than NXT, I would say for sure. And he can try, you know, he can try his Eric Young way and just try to go crazy and see if he could save TNA, but he won't. He has failed many times, and he could fail again with this Northern Armory, and they're such losers that they've shown. Even if he fails, I think they're still gonna follow him just because they can't be on their own. I don't know. Travis Williams and Judas Icarus. I had for a long time been high on Judas Icarus because he just makes these funny faces all the time in the background. And Travis Williams, also less noticeable but still serviceable. I thought they should go on their own when Josh Alexander left, but they didn't have the confidence to put them out there on their own, I guess. And here they are in the same role they were in for Josh Alexander, but just for Eric Young instead. So no progression for Judas Icarus and Travis Williams in the past few months, I would say, and that's kind of bad. I think they should maybe start looking towards breaking these guys up eventually and letting them do what they should have done to Josh Alexander and, you know, beat his ass and leave and be on their own. I think they could be a tag team on their own, if you ask me. But all right, let's move along. I think we got to storyline or segment number 7 on my review sheet here. This is Leon Slater coming out. So during this segment, they do replay AJ Styles coming out to congratulate Leon Slater at Slammiversary. Put him over, put his ass over. Leon Slater, who had defeated Moose and became the new X Division champion. And here he is cutting a promo. So I guess we can play the promo. Why not? I didn't realize we had a clip to play out of this. Leon Slater's getting promo time. He's the X Division champion. He had a great win. Let's see if he has any type of entertaining a promo. This is going to be interesting to see if he can actually keep people captivated. Because I know he's great in the ring. I love him in the ring, but maybe outside of the ring, on the mic, I'm not sure if he's been... Well, so he has been sometimes when he gets in people's faces, but I don't know about him just cutting promos by himself in the ring. I haven't heard this yet, so Let's check it out.
Rhode Island, we did it! Hey, man. Hey, you guys are too kind, man. Honestly, you guys are too kind, but I can't lie, this is crazy! This is mad! This is mad, and listen, like, Slammiversary was not just the best night of my life. It was the biggest night in TNA wrestling history. And somehow, some way, the boy managed to walk out your new X Division champion. And not only that, hey, let's save the big cheer for this one, innit? Not only that, I walked out the youngest X Division champion of all time, you get me? And don't get me wrong, man, it was a struggle. I had to go through one of...
I gotta answer this. Hello? Alright, sorry about that. My mom says she got lunch for me, so I gotta go pick up lunch later on from her house. But let's get back to Leon Slater. He's just cutting a baby face promo. He's proud of himself. Nothing yet from me.
The best in the world in Moose. And although that beef was crazy beforehand, once the match was done, once the dust had settled, he took this belt and he strapped it around my waist like a real man, and that's respect. But listen, if we're talking about respect, if we're talking about one of the best in the world, there's one other man I'd like to talk about. And that's the phenomenal one, AJ Styles! Yeah!
Oh my god, this is a boring promo.
Man, I wish I could describe to you lot what that moment felt like, but I think you saw it. I was jumping around, I was running around, I was like a kid at Christmas. When the music hit and he said, let's get ready to fly, I was ready to fly. But not only did AJ come down to the ring and shake my hand, he looked me in the eyes and he said, congratulations, kid. And that right there, that's some history. And, you know, I like to think of myself as a little bit of a record breaker, a little bit of a moment maker. And not only that, I'm trying to make some history of my own. So as long as I've got this belt, I'm bringing the X Division back to its roots. When this division was about speed, when this division was about innovation, about athleticism, agility.
I don't know what he's doing with his body. He's just talking, but he's moving himself all over the place. I can't really describe. But this is not hitting home for me. But okay, I get his point. He wants to make the X Division what it used to be.
Back when man like AJ Styles ran this thing. Back when man like Alex Shelley ran this thing. Back when man like Chris Sabin ran this thing. Man like Christopher Daniels, man like Samoa Joe, man like Amazing Red ran this thing.
They can't mention AEW people. They can't mention AEW people. This is a WWE show. What's going on here?
And now I carry that legacy on my shoulders. And if I can promise you all one thing, I promise I'm gonna make this reign a special one. Hey, but I can't forget, man, if we're talking about roots, we talk about history, we talk about legacy, there's only two people that I really want to give the big up. And that's Matt, that's Jeff, that's the hardest. They didn't just pave the way for me, they paved the way for our whole locker room, our whole business. So Matt, Jeff, if you have a moment, I'd love for you to join me right now.
Alright,
happy to oblige.
Here come the Hardys.
And that's the phenomenal one.
Oh shit. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, let's listen to the Hardys.
Leon, congratulations, my man. What you did at Slammiversary is the start of what is going to be a very special run. And speaking of special, there's a special energy in this building tonight. Can you feel it?
Yeah, there was till you guys came on.
Special energy happening at TNA right now, and I got to tell you, to be here with my brother as the TNA World Tag Team Champions for the 4th time, along with our son, the new X Division Champion Leon Slater.
Oh, they got a son too, like Christian.
And to be here in front of all of you die-hardy, rabid TNA fan base, you and this energy is the fuel that keeps the Hardy train moving full steam ahead, deleting anything in its path.
I'll throw a half point for
yeah,
the
this
delete.
is not just the Hardy train. This is the Hardy Soul Train. And with this connection, this combination here, us, you all at home, we're gonna keep choo-choo and chugging until the wheels fall off.
All right, so Steve Macklin's music hits. Nothing. I mean, other than Matt Hardy saying delete once, I have not gotten any type of giggle or entertainment. I don't know, maybe Leon Slater's a little funny how he was cutting his promo. But here's Steve Macklin. So let's hear what Steve Macklin has to say. I guess he's the last champion. I noticed from the 4 in the ring, these are the 4 actual TNA champions that are here in TNA, not owned by NXT. So
I was listening in the back, and I feel the energy, but I have to get this off my chest. I am not happy with what happened at Slammiversary. We have outsiders coming into this company who do not belong. And now we have our world championships on people who don't even work here. But what I look at standing in front of me in this TNA ring is real TNA champions. I see a 20-year-old phenom, the youngest X Division champion in this company's history. You get me? And then I look at you two. I see my peers. I see my mentors. I see my heroes. And most of all, I see the greatest tag team of all time. And then, well, you got me. You got a grunt who never thought he was going to make it home and let alone become a world champion and the first and still TNA International Champion. We put our blood, our sweat, and our tears into this place because we believe in it. It believed in us back. Hell, all of you believed in us. So now it is on us, on all of us, to hold the line, to draw our line in the sand and make a declaration. So to anyone that is out there listening, whether it is in our locker room or around the world, if you dare to step up, beware. Because this is my home, my family, my TNA, our TNA. So whoever dares to step up, you better be ready for a damn war.
And you're right. That's a war that TNA will refuse to lose.
Alright, well that segment really destroyed my soul. I would say I've been struggling here. I was at my girlfriend's house and she has cats and I stayed there for a couple nights. And so my eyes are itching and like crying. So that's not why I was crying watching this segment. I wasn't crying out of boredom. Although I was bored. I was very bored. I'm sorry. I gotta give that whole idea a thumbs down. I'm taking off a point here. What the hell? This impact is being sometimes a little disappointing, but this segment was a long segment, and what was the point? The point was that the 4 champions were still there, had all this in-ring time and promo time to talk, and said nothing except the fact that they are upset. I'm a little upset with what happened at Slammiversary, I gotta tell you. But okay, I'm moving on. Let's see what we got next. I think we got a match. Alright, so let's do some match highlights. For Mance Warner, he's out there with Steph DeLander, his girlfriend, his psycho girlfriend. They show a replay of what happened at Slammiversary pre-show. It was Mance Warner accidentally nailing Jake something, costing them the match. So this is their match tonight. It's a street fight, lots of weapons. Here's Jake something, hot start. Here's a bashing of the head with the steel chair. Here's I'll show some crazy spots here since they decided to use these weapons. Steel chairs, suplex off the top rope for Jake something into the steel steps. Here's another spot that I have noted that I will give a point to, because Steph DeLander got the sledgehammer and gives it a nice lick before she hands it off to Mance Warner, and he is going to take a kiss from her. Yeah, these two are just so ridiculous. Okay, so after all that, he winds up and he misses Jake something's head, who is on the steel chair, and he tries to take out his head, but lucky for us, Jake something moved out of the way, so we didn't see his brains get bashed in. Here's the thumbtack spot. And okay, I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's just silliness. Okay, here's a silly spot. This is why I'm laughing, because Jake something is gonna give a back suplex onto Mance Warner, but dump himself all over the thumbtacks as well. Like, why dump yourself? Just dump the other guy. Oh man, I gotta take off a point for that spot. I gotta say, sometimes these hardcore matches with Mance Warner are kind of nice, but this one to me wasn't his best one, wasn't memorable in my opinion, but there's a black hole slam finisher from Jake something, and we got a winner and apparently a #1 contender for the international title scene, so that's what I expect to happen. Just a clean loss for Mance Warner. I guess they really want to push Jake something here. I don't know. I've commented on Jake something. I think he's fine in the ring. He's got an excellent look. I don't know about the name Jake something, but they're really rolling with it. So I don't know. I think I would have put Mance Warner over. I think his character has been more dynamic since he's got to TNA. Maybe give him an out or something on the way out, but nothing. Just a clean loss. So I'm not too happy with this. I won't give it any points, but I won't take off any points. I'll just leave it at that. Alright, let's move on. Next up, we got a replay. It's Santino and Ethan Page at NXT, which we mentioned earlier in Santino's promo. They just kind of give an advertisement to say, hey, that's coming up. So Santino versus Ethan Page for the North American title. Segment that I thought was really good when Ethan Page introduced a new North American title with the Canadian colors on it, and you know, just kind of played up the fact that he's a North American. I've never really seen anyone do that with the belt. He mentioned living in USA, growing up in Canada, or he was born in Canada, grew up in the USA, something like that. So he is a proud North American. He says he calls himself the best North American, and that the Canadians are the best North Americans. So Santino came out and said, no, he's too arrogant. It's not how Canadians act, because he lives in Canada too. But okay, so they made a match that was out of nowhere. Nothing for me on this replay. This was just a basic replay. So I'm not giving any points for this video package. But I'm just saying I'm excited for that match, actually. But alright, next up we got JC Jane. She's coming out with Fatal Influence. She's going to cut a promo. So she's the Knockouts World Champion. This Impact was live. So I guess they actually sent her there to cut this promo after working at NXT. So here she is. But it's just going to be a basic promo. But we'll listen to it since someone's speaking.
Hello, TNA! Everyone take a good hard look at your new TNA Knockouts World Champion, me! All I want to know is, why is everybody so shocked? A woman from the deepest women's division in all of professional wrestling came here to TNA and took out your unstoppable, your unbeatable, your precious little Masha Slamovich. And when you look at this TNA Knockouts World Champion, you think of TNA Hall of Famers. People like Gail Kim, Mickie James, Awesome Kong, the beautiful people. Hell, I'll even put Jordan Grace into the mix. But I'm here to change the course of history. Going forward, when you look at this championship, you will think of JC Jane. Not only is my reign already historic, but I'm gonna make damn sure that it is also epic. And by no means is that a knock on this women's division, because there are some extremely talented women in the back. But the problem with them is they are all over the place. I mean, you have a woman who calls herself the Undeniable Diamond, but she gets suspended every other month. You have the Elegant...
Was talking shit about Tessa Blanchard. She's not there, though. If she was there, she would have came out and said something.
Brand, who is anything but elegant. You have Rosemary.
That's fucked up. They should come out and say something about that shit. Although it seems Ash by Elegance will have a chance. She's the #1 contender for that Knockouts World title. So, all right, who's she talking about next?
And Victoria Crawford, who both need Rosemary. And Victoria Crawford, who both need to be locked away in an insane asylum. Zaya Brookside, who looks like she's more ready for a music festival than she is to compete inside that squared circle.
Oh man, you know, this is not a bad roast of all the people who were there. The Rosemary and Victoria Crawford one, yes. Victoria Crawford literally just started acting insane, so she caught that. And then that was a good line. And then, you know, I was going to be indifferent to this segment until she started roasting people. But Zaya Brookside line, okay, she says she's ready to go to a music festival, not a wrestling match. What about her? Yeah, okay.
Xia Li! Oh, good Lord, Xia Li. Pro tip for you, honey. Please, just stick to MMA. And then my favorite, can't forget my favorite, a woman who calls herself the Knockout, but has done nothing of relevancy, especially when I'm the one holding the gold. So, take this picture in of your double champion, because everybody, when they watch me, they know that I am at the top of my game. And I'm going to be holding on to this TNA World Championship for a very, very
Knockouts World Championship.
long time. Because JC Jane, well, I always get the last laugh.
Emphatic.
Alright, well that's that. NXT truly rule over TNA. How sad. Although I actually liked her promo a little bit, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I gotta give something to this show. I was gonna say that she's just doing her talk promo thing. You know, at the beginning, I was kind of just, she was droning on. Then when she started roasting members of the TNA roster, on the women's roster, I think that's when it heated up for me. So I'll give this something. I'm at 2 points right now. So here we are at the next match. So I got highlights, match highlights. It's the Great Hands. So this stemmed from the opening segment. Basically, who is the dominant stable in TNA that is going to take on the NXT oncoming onslaught. You know, that they all need to band together kind of to take these titles back. And there's a little bit of a power struggle as the System think they are the premier stable and Order 4 think they are. So here comes Order 4 with Mustafa Ali. Here's their representatives, the Great Hands, John Schuyler and Jason Hotch. So they're facing off against Brian Myers and their ally of the System, Matt Cardona. So Brian Myers is coming out with Alicia. And let's get to some interference. So here's an interference spot. Mustafa Ali is here to help Order 4. He gets up on the ring apron, and that distracts Matt Cardona. Here's Tasha, so she immediately gets up next. So she's also trying to help Order 4, gets up on the ring apron. And very interestingly, Alicia Edwards from the System pulls her down. This kind of popped me because these two used to be aligned before Alicia joined Order 4. She was in the System. So seeing Alicia and Tasha fighting, because they were tag team for a while, that was kind of weird. But you know what? I like that. I'm going to give that a thumbs up for the trip. Thanks for the trip, TNA. So next up, next spot is we got a reveal of a new Order 4 henchman. So he's this big, tall guy, and he slams down Matt Cardona. I like the way he fixes his tie as he's leaving. Like, yep, just did my job. That was easy. And they really played him up. I'll give him a half point for his intro. I don't know. I thought they could have featured him a little better. I liked the straightening of the tie, but supposedly he's gonna be a big part of the stable, it looks like. So he was really talked up by the commentators. And Order 4 win the match, and they defeat the System and Matt Cardona. So there you go. Good win for the System. The match, I'll give the match a half a point. I don't know why Matt Cardona has to team with the System. Why doesn't the System just use one of their guys like JDC or something? But okay, I'll still give this a half a point. I was more enamored with Alicia and Tasha fighting on the outside. But I'm moving on to the next segment. Segment number 12 on my review sheet. We got a happenstance by commentary. So let's pull up our little TV. And Kazarian is going to be there by commentary. He wants to join. And they don't want him there. They're going to get him kicked out because he is a TNA traitor. He helped Trick Williams in that match at Slammiversary. So let's see how this goes.
We've been joined here on commentary back out. We've been joined here on commentary like we were. The main event of Slammiversary, Frankie Kazarian is back out.
Three-man boost. It's like the Todd Kinley days, boys. Here we are. Here we are.
So glad you're back out.
You are glad,
look,
yes.
You got to go. Frankie, even you've gone too far. You lost me. I can't stand it. Get him out of here.
What?
Frankie, one step over the line. Thank you.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Dude.
Okay, so for a second it looked like they were inviting him into the commentary table, and then they blindsided him, Ray Walt, with security behind him, and the referee has ejected him from ringside because I guess he's just gone too far. He helped Trick. He pulled the ref out during that three-way match, which was going to look like it was going to head in the direction of Trick losing the title, but he was involved in that. He didn't help him win outright. He didn't figure into the finish, but he was there, and he was supporting Trick Williams, so they want him away from the commentary booth. So
Scum of TNA out of here.
Had to be done.
right now we're set for our main event. Fallout from the main.
All right. So Kazarian, what happened there? He's 1 second. He was on the show. He got thrown out. I'll throw it a half a point. I kind of like that. I think it was a good thing. Don't let this guy just hang around. He's a TNA traitor. Why should we let him hang out on commentary? So, fuck it. All right, this leads right into our next segment. No time to sulk. We got a #1 contenders match for the TNA World Title. So whoever wins this is gonna step up to Trick, it seems, and makes sense. It's the two guys who were in the three-way. They're both gonna try to get singles matches. It's Mike Santana coming in. Joe Hendry. Santana's got to shake off the cobwebs, not the cobwebs, but the disappointment of the last match. Joe Hendry, do the people still believe? I don't know. I feel like the people are losing belief in Joe Hendry. I gotta say. Joe Hendry tries to shake his hand though, so Santana had to think about it quite a bit, but in the end, he gives him a quick handshake, and they're off to the races. So let's see what highlights we got today as they collar and elbow tie-up, lock-up. It's a hard-fought match, but after a bunch of reversals, I'm just going to go to the finish. Here is a reversal from Santana into a jackknife pin, and that's how he wins the match. So Santana, very hard-fought match, last chunk of the show, last 10-15 minutes, and Santana gets the win. I consider it a dead spot, kind of no storylines, no angles, just a match. But Santana's your winner, so that's the point. For the match itself, I'll say I'll give it a half a point. I didn't dig it too much. I kind of knew where it was going. I knew if anyone would win this, it was Santana. So it's kind of predictable. There's a little post-match thing. Joe Hendry gets in his face a little bit. You know, they had a rough match. They just kind of killed each other, but Santana says, you know what, fuck it, let's shake hands anyways. And he shake hands, Santana shakes his hand, and that's the end of the show. So if this isn't where Santana, I'll throw a half point for that cool handshake at the end. But my point is, if this isn't where Santana wins the TNA World Title, then I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck, because I guess they just never gonna give it to him or something. Because they have long gone past the point of this should have been done already. In my opinion, people are very disappointed with this whole WWE thing. They're milking that. Although I think Trick really would be over these two guys. Like if you're trying to pick a champion out of these three, I guess you would pick Trick. But the thing is, Trick is not even in this company. So it makes your company look bad to say you don't have one wrestler who could defeat this guy who just came in and took your belt. So you have to give TNA back some credibility. You have to give Santana this win. But, okay, only 5.5 points today, so this is one of the weaker impacts I've seen in a while. Still not bad, you know. 5.5 is positive. I always say anything over 0 is a good score. It means at least there was something there for me to be interested in and be entertained by. Believe it or not, if I have to look back through my memory banks and decide what was the most entertaining thing on this show, it might have been JC Jane and her roast promo, which I'm surprised to say. But okay, it wasn't really based on her personality. It was just the line she was delivering was pretty good. But other than that, we can forget about this episode and move on. We all know what's coming. It's Santana versus Trick. And we'll see what happens. Also, I'm more excited for tonight's NXT with Santino versus Ethan Page. So I kind of want Santino to get a title back for TNA and be like, all right, you know what? They took 2 of our titles. I just want to see one time a WWE title over here in TNA. And if they don't buy TNA, that would still be a cool accomplishment to me for TNA to take one of WWE's titles. I would be happy to see that. So, all right, let's see. We'll see tonight. All right, that'll be it for this live stream. Next time we're going to do Dynamite. So tomorrow morning, I think I got to review last week's Dynamite and run through what happened on Ring of Honor and Collision, just so we don't miss anything. So I'll do that tomorrow before I go to work. And that'll be that. After that, I'll get to SmackDown and Raw. So We'll see ya whenever we see ya. Catch you later. Have a good day and all that.